we will send the chief executive officer of this county home, Mr. Speaker. But I want to assure you, Mr. Speaker, even those CECs that are running up and down, Mr. Speaker, trying to look for these honorable members, Mr. Speaker, even if they do demonstration from morning to evening, Mr. Speaker, we will never tire. Mr. Speaker, we want to assure you, we are prepared to work this journey, Mr. Speaker, and I hope the senators, once we pass, and I want to write the honorable members, when the history of the 3rd County Assembly will be written, Mr. Speaker, you will have a chapter or 2 as those MCAs who stood with the people when the people needed the most, Mr. Speaker. We are on the right side of history. When you go to impeachment motion of 2014 that was moved by Albert, Mr. Speaker, as I wind up, you were the CC in charge of finance, Mr. Speaker. When the motion was moved to hoster Professor Chepkwony, Mr. Speaker, when Chepkwony came back, Mr. Speaker, things now went straight forward, Mr. Speaker. So we want to tell the members here, Mr. Speaker, that we are not going to tire. In fact, we are going, Mr. Speaker, we will be bringing impeachment. Before the people of Inamoy sent me home, Mr. Speaker, because of some 1, 2, 3 things that I never completed because there is no county resources, Mr. Speaker, I will send someone home so that he waits for me at home in 2027, Mr. Speaker. I will not allow, Mr. Speaker. So as I want, Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank these gallant soldiers, Mr. Speaker, and ladies, for standing on behalf of the people of Kericho. Never be bowed, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Ogon, this is your constitutional mandate of doing oversight, Mr. Speaker. So never tire trying to correct the county executive, Mr. Speaker. We will call them by their names. For the members of the county assembly who decided to go and joyride in an island in Uganda, Mr. Speaker, including the honorable members the 2 honorable members from Inamo, Mr. Speaker, I don't even speak about the honorable Ishma and honorable Noela, because these are nominated MCA who has no interest in Kericho County, Mr. Speaker. And this is the same person, Mr. Speaker, who nominated. How can you nominate someone who does not have interest in your county, Mr. Speaker? When matters like these are being discussed, Mr. Speaker, they are joyriding in Uganda, Mr. Speaker. I think we need to make it very clear that anybody who is going to be nominated in this county, Mr. Speaker, must have interest in Kericho County, Mr. Speaker. I want to applaud the Honorable KONYON, Mr. Speaker, because he is one of the minorities, but they are living in this county. They know what the people of this county are going through, Mr. Speaker. And KONYON, when the history will be written, you stood with the minority community of this county. You stood with the majority community of this county, Mr. Speaker. If when you ask the Honorable Ishma, where does he live? Does she has land in this county, Mr. Speaker, apart from the gases that he sells along the roadside, Mr. Speaker? Sell the gases along the roadside, Mr. Speaker, is even, Mr. Speaker, dangerous, Mr. Speaker. How can you set up a gas station along an highway, Mr. Speaker? And it must be removed. When you ask about the Honorable Mr. Speaker, where does he live? Where is his land in Kericho County, Mr. Speaker? Apart from living in some of these rented houses in this town. So we will make a statement as the leaders of this county, Mr. Speaker, that next time a nomination is being done, we need to look at someone who hails from this county. Even if you come from a minority, you need to have land, so that when we are discussing about the issues affecting the Kipsigis of Kericho, Mr. Speaker, at least you feel. How does Noela from Siaya feel the pinch of these people of this county, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, as I finish on behalf of the people of Inamoy, Mr. Speaker, I want to support the mover of the motion. I support the motion, and we will do our part, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
And as I finish, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, as I finish, the independence of various arms of government. The county assembly, Mr. Speaker, is independent. No arm of government, Mr. Speaker, should infringe on the rights of another arm of government, Mr. Speaker. If the purported orders, Mr. Speaker, has anything, they should wait for us to finish the process. Then if you think that your rights were infringed, you now go to other agencies, Mr. Speaker, to seek redress. So the county assembly is independent, Mr. Speaker, and we will do and discharge our mandate, Mr. Speaker, until the end of 2027. If God gives us another grace, Mr. Speaker, to represent our people either here or there, Mr. Speaker, we will be very grateful, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, thank you, and I support the motion.
All right, thank you, the Honorable Cheruiyot. But the Honorable Gilbert Terrer.